one thing to be very clear about is an HR leader is a business leader. You cannot be a good HR executive or an HR leader unless you are truly leading part of the business and understand it.
I think you wear multiple hats when you're talking about strategic objectives and being an HRD or a CPO. The first hat is that I think you need to be a commercial leader first and an HR leader second. So you need to be able to feel jointly accountable with your colleagues for the commercial P&L and customer delivery of your organisation.
It's important that any senior HR leader is a partner to the other business leads. Clearly at the top of the organisation, the chief HR officer or the chief people officer needs to be working very, very closely with the CEO, the rest of the C-suite, and also the board to drive forwards and ensure that the particular initiative that an organisation is working on, or the initiatives that an organisation is working on, are actually followed through.
It's keeping the senior team focused on the why and the how for an organisation. I think sometimes HR directors can fall into the trap of focusing very much on tactical objectives, what a business needs to achieve in a particular year or in a particular 5-year span. For me, trying to keep bringing people back to, why as an organisation, what is our why, and then focusing also on the values of the organisation, so how are we going to deliver these things and what's important there.
The CPO is often the person that's concerned with the dynamics of how the team operates, alongside the CEO. So you play a role to make sure that those conversations around strategy are good and inclusive, and they get you to good outcomes.
I think if you look at the broader responsibilities of a senior HR leader, and especially those, again, who are chief people officers, chief HR officers, depending on the terminology, they're also going to be working very, very closely with the board to ensure that the overall objectives of the organisation are met from a people perspective as well.
I think the question is almost an answer in itself. We are here to drive the strategic objectives of the business, and it needs to start with that. And I think as an HR function, as a CHRO, as a people officer, you need to ask yourself that question, what is it that we're trying to solve for? And start from there. I think sometimes we might be tempted to come with the solutions first. I think that's not the starting point, that's the outcome.
One thing that's really clear right now is that HR directors are going to be far more involved in the strategic objectives of the organisation, and we're seeing that HRDs are having far more power in the boardroom around shaping the strategy of the organisation. One area where we're seeing this is in technology that's driving digital transformation. So while organisations are investing huge sums of money into their technology stack, for the human being that's interacting with all of those pieces of technology, it can be very confusing and actually can be a source of displeasure that leads people to move out of the organisation.
I think there's something about creating and being on message, ensuring that the communication of your business priorities and strategies isn't lost in corporate speak and actually is translated for all your workforce. You can't assume that there are some that may not be interested. I think there's also something around that trusted advisor and the check and challenge that comes with that on an ongoing basis. I think it's also around ensuring that the people side of that business strategy facilitates and enables and ensures the success of it, rather than actually prevents the business achieving what it sets out to do.
I think as a CHRO, you have to be curious, you have to understand your business, your market and the strategy, and you have to devise a people strategy that absolutely responds to that. So I think what we all have to do is resist the temptation for pet projects, for things that sound cool or quirky, but be really forensic and laser-like in making sure we develop a people strategy that absolutely supports the business objectives.